Module 7, Discussion 1. I did question 1, 2, and 3. Question 1. Our texts are used to pop culture, transmit culture messages that transcend individual cultures, communities, regions, and nationalities. Select one item of what our author would consider pop culture that you engage with. Name and describe and discuss how it might be perceived to transmit message about your culture and what messages might our author believe and transmit. How do you believe someone who knows nothing about your culture would interpret your culture based solely on the item pop culture? Be sure to cite the text in your response. So 7.2, I'd said Netflix. It says, do any of these words mean anything to you? You probably know almost all of them, but where did you learn them? We are surrounded by messages coming at us from our computers, our cell phones, our radios, televisions, or even from our friends, colleagues, and we hear about these well-known representations of pop culture, the influences of what we think we would do in ways we don't always recognize in the next catchphrase from sick of their cycling and old like ritual that we will use because everyone else is using it. We come from pop culture. It's around in our cars, office, homes, and it makes an impact. The reason I chose Netflix for question 1 was because I feel like Netflix has a lot to do with the world. They're making a lot of documentaries, movies, shows, different cultures, different things that people go through. And I believe the things you watch on there, people may think that they know about your culture then from watching something that somebody made, when that's necessarily not what your culture is about. It's just a movie or a show. Most of them aren't true or have anything to do with where you came from. Question 2, what are at least 3 primary groups in your life? How do you differentiate them from secondary groups? What are the similarities and differences between the groups? How would our author explain them? As you respond, share how at least one of your groups formed and developed. Be specific as you discuss each stage of development, citing your text and your answer. 7.3. Primary groups that meet most, if not all, of one's needs. Secondary group meets some, but not all of one's needs. Secondary groups often include work groups where the goal is complete tasks, solve problems. If you as a member of a sales department, purpose, but a member of a family are often responsible to other members of the group in more than one way. I think 3 primary groups. I think primary groups would be like my family, my girlfriend, friends. Secondary group, I think, would be like social media friends, work friends. I think I'm gonna go with the work friends, how they develop. Working with somebody, getting to know them, talking. They don't really know like people outside of they hang out with or your family outside of work. So it's like a different perspective. They meet a different need. It's like different with them than it is with people you may know. Question 3. Apply the transtheorical module of change to a social change movement you've witnessed in your life. What is the movement? How can you analyze it using the model? Be clear in your response, discussing each of the module and how it appears to fit in the change you've seen experience. Of course, 7.5 says change itself can sometimes be a challenge. We fear change and crave the familiar. We like our routine. We like knowing how things are supposed to work, and we sometimes get frustrated when they don't work as we anticipated. The same concept applies to people. So that text. What I got for this one. I kind of want to use COVID as an example. It kind of came in and like disrupted everybody's life and changed a lot of things. Like I said, a lot of us don't like change. A lot of us aren't used to change or used to a certain routine. So like, for instance, say you're used to just getting up, going to work. You're not worried about the temperature. You're not worried about finding a mask, digging through your car. When you're going to a grocery store, wearing a mask, it's just like, I'm going to the grocery store. I've never had to put on a mask before, so now with COVID, I think it just came in and kind of changed everything for everybody and a little bit disturbed our life. It's hard for a lot of people who might have a lot of more social problems, anxiety problems, claustrophobic problems. I think it's all something we all had to get used to. I think we all kind of gotta go with change. It's kind of like how like it says like we like new restaurants, recipes, stuff like that. So it's kind of like we just gotta kind of get used to the new.